Let's look at how you can change your color palette in Squarespace 7.1. The first thing we need to do is access our site styles. There's two ways we can get there. The first is by selecting Design and then Site Styles. And you'll see this navigation pulls in from the right with our various site style options. The other way we can get there is just by selecting Edit on any page, coming up to this top navigation and selecting this paintbrush icon in the top right hand corner. So we're going to select colors, and you'll see that by default we have a color palette in place. This is usually the color palette that came with your starting design template, whatever you chose here. And you'll see underneath that Squarespace has configured various themes that we can apply to different sections of our website based on our color palette. Now what this does is it allows us to break up that basic white background and black text. We can add some personality to our website while still maintaining that cohesive feel and brand consistency. Now once you have configured your palette, you can always come in here, hover over a section, click this pencil icon, and that's going to bring up a lot more settings that you can either click and can adjust based on your color palette, or you can customize with your different hex codes. Now to change your color palette itself, select Edit Palette, and you'll see here we have 5 colors at the top. So this is sort of lightest, light, accent, dark, and darkest. Now if you just want to stick to 3 colors, that's fine. A lot of people do that and then just keep the white and the black, very common. It really depends on your brand and if you have a brand color palette already in place. So if we scroll down here, you'll see there's some pre-configured options for you. You can select a pre-made preset from Squarespace. You would just click on any one that you like. You can pull in from an image. So say you have a mood board in place, you can upload that mood board, and you'll see that Squarespace will try to configure a color palette based on the colors in the image, and it does a pretty good job. Now say you do this and you like most of the colors, but maybe you don't like this middle accent color. You can always play around with this toggle here, just pulling it around. It's being a little bit slow. Or the other thing you can do is you can install a Google Color Picker or Eyedrop extension from the Chrome store. I'll link to this one below. And when you have this installed, you can pick a color from a web page. And what you could do is you could hover over this mood board and say, okay, I really like this orange. I want to incorporate that. Click, come back up to the eyedropper, and you'll see it gives you the hex, the HSL, and the RGB. So we're going to grab the hex code here. That's this one with the little hashtag at the front, and we're going to come up here and you'll see here you've got those various options, so hex, RGB, HSL. So we're going to choose hex, make sure it's our accent color selected, and we're just going to paste that in. And you'll see here that's updated our brand colors, and that maybe looks a little bit more balanced. We've got a little bit of pop going on. Now if you already have brand colors in place, you can just come in, select the different option, and then paste in either your hex code, or depending on what you're using, you would paste that in here. Now if you don't have brand colors in place and you need a place to start, you need some inspiration, there's a few places you can go. My first go-to is usually coolors.co. You can generate a number of color palettes really quickly, and they're all generally very balanced and work well together. The other place is Pinterest. You can just search Pinterest for color palettes in general, or I have a board here that I'll link to below this video that has a number of color palettes already configured for you, and depending on when you're watching this, there'll be a lot more added. And lastly, if you want help taking this beyond a color palette, you want to know how to build a brand from scratch, like DIY the whole thing, logo and everything, then I recommend checking out my free training, squareduptosell.com. There's a link to it below this video, and this is just a free 45-minute training, but part of what you learn in here is how to build a brand from scratch. So we look at logo, font, color palettes, where to source your images, all that good stuff. So I'll link to that below this video as well. But as you can see, very straightforward and easy to update your site styles at any time. Just be sure to come back and configure these different theme sections as you wish. Hey, if you like this video, there's a good chance you'll also like this one.